Power in medieval Japan was never as stable as it appeared. Behind the lacquered walls of Kyoto, beneath the banners of the Ashikaga shoguns, loyalty was spoken as an absolute virtue, yet betrayal waited patiently in the shadows. One night, a single decision made by a samurai would shatter the illusion of order and plunge an entire shogunate into irreversible decline. This was not a clash of armies on an open battlefield, but a quieter, more devastating act. A betrayal so precise, so personal, that it reshaped the destiny of Japan's ruling class. For decades, the Ashikaga Shogunate presented itself as the unchallenged authority of the realm. From the capital, the shogun ruled in the name of the emperor, commanding daimyo, settling disputes, and projecting an image of balance between courtly refinement and military strength. Yet beneath that surface, rival clans maneuvered relentlessly. Alliances shifted without warning, and resentment fermented in silence. What few could imagine was that the greatest threat to the shogunate would come not from rebellious provinces, but from within its own inner circle. This story is remembered as the Kakitsu incident, but names and dates alone cannot convey its true weight. It was a moment when loyalty collapsed, fear overpowered honor, and a single blade rewrote the political map of Japan. The consequences would echo for generations, setting the stage for civil wars that would tear the country apart. And it all began with a shogun who ruled through terror and a samurai who decided he had nothing left to lose. Before we continue this dramatic journey into Japan's past, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It tells us you want more cinematic stories like this one, and it helps keep these forgotten chapters of history alive. Now, let's return to a Japan standing on the edge of chaos. In the early 15th century, Japan was unified in name, but divided in reality. The Ashikaga Shogunate, established after years of conflict, governed through a delicate balance of power. The shogun depended on powerful regional lords, while those lords relied on the shogun's legitimacy to justify their rule. Kyoto was both a political center and a fragile stage where tradition, ambition, and violence coexisted uneasily. Buddhism shaped moral life. The samurai code emphasized loyalty, yet survival often demanded moral compromise. At the heart of this system sat Ashikaga Yoshinori, the sixth shogun. His rise to power was itself unusual. Originally destined for a life as a Buddhist monk, Yoshinori was never expected to rule. But fate, as it so often does, intervened. When succession crises weakened the ruling line, Yoshinori was recalled from monastic life and elevated to shogun. What began as an unlikely ascent soon transformed into a reign defined by fear. Yoshinori was intelligent, decisive, and utterly ruthless. He believed authority must be enforced, not negotiated. Daimyo who questioned him were humiliated or destroyed. Even members of the Ashikaga family were not safe from his suspicion. Executions, forced suicides, and land confiscations became tools of governance. To Yoshinori, terror was stability. To his vassals, it was a countdown. Among those vassals was Akamatsu Mitsusuke, a powerful samurai lord with deep roots and a proud lineage. The Akamatsu clan had long served the Ashikaga, providing military support and political loyalty. Mitsusuke himself was known as disciplined, cultured, and outwardly obedient. He attended court, bowed deeply, and spoke the language of loyalty fluently. But behind his calm exterior, pressure was building. Yoshinori distrusted Mitsusuke. Perhaps it was the clan's influence, perhaps it was paranoia, or perhaps the shogun simply needed another example to reinforce his authority. One by one, Mitsusuke's allies were stripped of lands or eliminated. Whispers reached him that his own death was imminent. In Yoshinori's court, rumors often preceded executions.
Imagine the tension of those days. Mitsusuke walking through palace corridors, knowing every bow might be his last. Hearing the silence after conversations ended too quickly. Reading the shogun's expression, cold and unreadable. Loyalty demanded submission, survival demanded action. And between those two forces, Mitsusuke made a choice that would define history. In the summer of 1441, Yoshinori traveled to Akamatsu territory for what was presented as a ceremonial visit. Officially, it was a gesture of trust. Unofficially, it terrified Mitsusuke. The shogun had a habit of killing hosts who displeased him. The visit felt less like an honor and more like an execution scheduled in advance. On the night of June 24th, the palace was quiet. Lanterns flickered. Guards stood at their posts, unaware they were witnessing the final hours of a shogun's life. Yoshinori retired, confident in his power, certain that fear had secured his safety. He was wrong. Akamatsu Mitsusuke and his men moved swiftly. There was no dramatic speech, no last warning. Steel met flesh in the darkness. The shogun was assassinated in his own quarters, cut down by the very warriors sworn to protect him. In an instant, the highest authority in Japan lay dead, killed not by rebels, but by loyal retainers turned executioners. The shock was immediate and absolute. A shogun had been murdered by a vassal. This was unthinkable. It violated every principle of the samurai world. Yet it had happened. And once the blade was drawn, there was no turning back. Mitsusuke knew what awaited him. The act guaranteed retribution. The shogunate would hunt him, his clan would be condemned. But for a brief moment, power trembled. The illusion of invincibility was gone. If a shogun could be killed, then the entire system was vulnerable. The response was swift. Loyalist forces rallied. The Akamatsu clan was declared traitorous. Mitsusuke was hunted relentlessly. Facing inevitable defeat, he chose suicide, preserving his honor as a warrior, even as history branded him a traitor. His lands were confiscated, his family destroyed, his name cursed in official records. Yet the true damage was already done. With Yoshinori dead, the Ashikaga Shogunate entered a period of irreversible decline. Authority weakened. Daimyo no longer feared the shogun as before. If terror could not protect a ruler, then power was an illusion. Factions grew bolder, rivalries intensified. Within a generation, these tensions would erupt into the Onin War, a conflict that devastated Kyoto and marked the beginning of the Sengoku period, the age of warring states. Historians still debate Mitsusuke's motives. Was he a traitor driven by ambition or a desperate man acting in self-defense? Some see him as a villain who shattered order. Others see him as a symptom of a system built on fear, where loyalty was demanded but never rewarded. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. What is undeniable is the legacy of that night. The Kakitsu incident became a warning whispered through generations. It exposed the fragility of authority and the danger of ruling through terror. It showed that even the most powerful throne rests on the choices of individuals, and that fear, once unleashed, eventually turns inward. As you reflect on this story, consider how often history is changed not by grand battles, but by silent decisions made in dark rooms. The Ashikaga Shogunate did not fall that night, but it began to bleed, and it never truly recovered. If you want to continue exploring stories like this, where power, loyalty, and betrayal collide, subscribe to the channel and leave your thoughts in the comments. Tell us which empire, warrior, or forgotten moment you want to uncover next. History is full of stories waiting to be told, and the next one begins with you.